Yo, what is up, everybody? Jumping here, and today I'm going to be bringing you the Batarian Slasher, which is awesome, and I am finally done now with Retaliation DLC, people. I'm so happy. Alrighty, for the gun, I recommend the Cerberus Harrier. This gun is great, as you guys may know, and it works really well because he's a Batarian and he gets spare ammo. Alright, now for the build, I don't go for Lash, but I do like Warp. For Warp, it's pretty standard, just detonate, expose, and pierce. That is the way I build all my warps, and warp is a pretty good power overall. Now for cluster nade, this is different. I like radius. Yes, radius is pretty awesome. 5.4 meters. Max grenades, 2 extra grenades, that's always nice. And guess what? I go for force and damage, not shrapnel. The reason I do this is because I like to throw the 2 grenades, because see, warp is a single projectile. It's not like Reeve. So the 2 grenades are more accurate, in fact. So that's the reason why I like it. Believe me, it's a lot more accurate. Alright, now for the Batarian Forcer, I like damage and capacity, power damage, and then finally damage and ammo. This gives you the spare ammo. And then for fitness, all shields. All shields all day, baby. Alrighty, now for the equipment, I like armor piercing 3, assault rifle rear lamp 3, Warfighter Package 5, and a drill. And I would have used a cyclonic, but I just don't have any, unfortunately for me. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. Alrighty, so this is going to be the gameplay. It's going to be on the map Hydra. Man, I love this map, especially for people who use grenades. It's my favorite grenade map in the entire game. And it's going to be against Reapers. And this will be a very, very beastly gameplay, to be quite honest. You might have thought that the Drell Infiltrator was impressive. You may have thought that the Volus Vanguard was impressive. But man, I hope I can blow you away with this, because this guy is fucking awesome. I really do like the Batarian Adept. I mean, he is, at first I thought he was going to be really bad, but I was really confused by his power setup. I could swear it was like Lash and Shockwave, and you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really actually know it was cluster nades and warp and Lash. Now Lash, you could potentially go for that maybe if you really want it, but I'd rather go for the fitness and the spare ammo and all that over Lash. Lash, it's hard to really complain about that power, and I know a lot of people do. A lot of you guys are probably like, Lash is garbage, Lash is stupid. Which for the most part, Lash is kind of like a whatever power. But it's hard to complain about because it has such a good power recharge time on it that you can just, if you miss it, which you will, you can just use it again like almost right away. So, but for this guy, I don't really think Lash really works well. I think just being an adept that is kind of a tank, and on top of that has a pretty nice little power setup. Now, here's one of the downsides to this guy is obviously the Drell is kind of better offensively than he is, but he's a lot like the Drell. Obviously, he has cluster grenades, you can do explosions with him, just like the Drell. But the difference between him and the Drell is that the Drell is just so flimsy, one of the most flimsy motherfuckers in the game, where this guy is pretty fucking beefy. So that is a difference, and it is a nice difference. Now, offensively, like I said, the Drell is definitely superior, a lot better, because with Shrapnel and with Reeve, you set up so many targets and you just blow them all to hell. With this guy, it's only one target, and the other problem is that they of course can dodge warp. Happens a lot. So, you know, that's always an issue, but overall, even if they dodge it, that gives you an opportunity to shoot them, / throw a grenade at them and everything. And cluster grenades are just so godly. And believe me, I really do recommend going for the radius on them, because it goes up to 5 meters, which is fucking crazy, to be honest. But not only that, it's actually 5.5 meters too. But not only does it go up, not only does the radius is amazing, but just the fact that like you can see it in this gameplay, you can see it a lot too, is that when you throw the 2 grenades compared to throwing the 3 grenades, they're like so accurate compared to the 3 grenades. I mean, if you play with the Drell ever, you probably know that if you go for shrapnel, a lot of times maybe one of the grenades will hit and the other 2 just, they go flying off to the side, and it's never that fantastic when that happens. But with this guy, if you have the warp, you don't really need the 3 grenades. So I like it. I really do, and I am definitely happy with this guy. He's one of the only adepts in the game that I would probably consistently use. I think he's a lot of fun. Harrier, the Harrier is definitely a really good gun for him. You could strap a lot of different guns on him, so the gun really doesn't matter. But I don't know, I think the Harrier is the best all-round gun because he has the spare ammo. I mean, look at my ammo. I only have the Harrier 5. So, and with the Harrier 5, I have 106 bullets. Normally, I would only have 88 extra bullets. So that does increase it like somewhat, and because of the fact that he actually uses grenades, it's going to motivate you to have to go to the boxes. So like I never have ammo problems ever. Like I never actually run it. At least I played with him quite a bit. When I played with him, I can honestly say I never once had an issue where I ran out of ammo. I always had ammo. So, but that also comes from the fact that I'll use my thermal packs as well to get my grenades back. So even, I don't know, it just never happened. But like I said, this guy's badass, and as you can tell, I am just wrecking these Reapers. Warp is definitely a great power for just that debuff. It weakens the armor. The explosions are a lot better that way. But like I said, Reeve is just personally a better power. I just personally think it's better. Which, the thing I'm surprised about, and it really pisses me off, and I wish they would have done this with this guy, because I was a little excited that they were going to put Shockwave on him, because as you guys may know, Shockwave is one of my favorite powers in the game. I love Shockwave, and it's unfortunate they didn't add that to him. I mean, I just think that Warp, they're overdoing Warp now. That's one of my only complaints with this guy, but it's really not a complaint about him as much as it is about just the DLC and BioWare and what they've done with a lot of these characters. I mean, just think about how many people in this game has Warp. And I've talked about this before because Warp is like the biotic power that everyone gets, and Incinerate is the tech power that everyone gets. So there's just way too much. There's way too many people in this game that have Incinerate, and there's way too many people in this game that has Warp. So that is kind of a complaint of mine, just about it. But like I said, with him, it does work really well, just because Warp is a great power for these cluster grenades. I didn't think it was going to work as well as it actually does, but it does work really, really well. So that's just kind of how it goes. But the one setup of power I would love to see, which I doubt I'll ever see it, is actually Shockwave and Reeve. That would be an amazing combination of powers right there. And I'm surprised they've never done that. And it just kind of pisses me off. But, hopefully in the future, because guys, there is actually a rumor out right now. I don't know how true it is because, it's a rumor. But I will tell you one thing, and I've said this every single time when it comes to DLCs. And that was really nice right there. But I've always said this, is that every time there's a rumor floating around, like about a DLC coming out, it always comes out. It's very strange with this game. Like, whoever announces these rumors on the forums, on the BSN, like for some reason, they're always right. So, or at least it seems like they've always been right. Who knows? But what I'm hearing about this new DLC potentially is that they are going to do another DLC, which surprises the shit out of me because I was kind of thinking that Retaliation was it because of the just sheer size of Retaliation and how long it took to actually finish it up. Right here, I'm getting fucking annihilated. Had to use 2 op packs. Ugh. But hey, it happens. Anyway, yeah, so I was thinking Retaliation would be the final DLC. But what I'm hearing right now is apparently there is a chance there could be another one. And what people are saying is that they're going to add 2 new Solarians, which they really need to. Probably a Soldier and a Sentinel or something. More than likely, they wouldn't give a biotic power to the Sentinel because it's a Solarian. And that, just doesn't make sense. I just hate the fact that all the Sentinels that have been coming out, they don't have any type of biotic power at all. So, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so that is what I'm hearing, is that there could be 2 new Solarians. and 2 Turians, a Turian Death and a Turian Vanguard, which would be really cool. And you know, it would be really interesting if they could somehow incorporate the new powers from the DLC, from the Omega DLC, that is, which would be like Flare. And there was another one, I don't even know the name of it, but it was like a bubble weird power, but it had a really cool effect, and if it was on a Turian, it'd be really good, because one of the effects of that power was that after it wore off for like 10 seconds or something, you got 50% weapons, or you could have 50% weapon buff, which would be crazy on a Turian. And then the other option in that was 50% damage resistance, which would be really good too. So more than likely the weapon damage would be what you would want to go for. But I mean, I don't know, you can only hope for these kind of things. I mean, obviously they would have to come out with something else, probably 2 other ones as well. Don't know what they would be, but who knows? It'd be definitely really cool if they actually come out with a new DLC. I would be excited about it, because I mean, to be quite honest, you know, if you guys were wondering, you know, today is Friday, but I am actually not I did not play this game on Friday, or I'm not playing any shooters today. I'm holding true to my word about how I won't play any shooters, because I'm going to participate in the, you know, National Day of Non-Shooting Games or whatever. I don't even know what to call it, but it's just some cool thing that some gamers came up with that I decided that I wanted to do, and hopefully you guys will also participate in that. But anyway, like I was saying, but I am not playing today. This was recorded like a couple days ago, and I haven't really been playing Mass Effect actually that much in general, although I can admit that because of all the new things that have come out, and the fact that I really like the Volus, I really like this slasher, this Batarian, and of course I like the Drell. Because of that, I think that that is actually, you know, it has actually got me a little bit thinking about Mass Effect, and kind of like having that urge to want to play a little bit. So, you know, who knows? You know, maybe I will play here and there and come up with some new stuff. I just don't know what you guys actually want to see, to be quite honest. So if you guys want to suggest something, go for it. But more than likely, if I do any more videos for Mass Effect, it would be something along the lines of just some OP stuff. Maybe I'll make a series where I'll make like, it wouldn't be too much, it wouldn't be like too long of a series. Maybe I'll make a super OP series where I use the most OP stuff and I show you exactly how OP it is, or the best of the best. Maybe I'll make a series like that. So who knows, we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna promise that, but at the same time, you know, I'm not gonna just say that I won't do it, because it is possible. But as you can tell, guys, whew, man, this Batarian, especially with this Harrier, I love the Harrier on him because it just gives you that extra range. And if you know, I'll give you a tip about cluster nades, because I really haven't been talking too much about, I haven't really been giving a lot of tips in this gameplay. And right here, man, whoa, man, I just got murdered. You know, sometimes you just can't help it, but anyway, cluster grenades. I actually have given this tip before, and I tell you guys this a lot, which is true, is that if you watch all my Mass Effect videos, I consistently will give a lot of the same tips, because they work pretty well. So if you missed those videos about cluster grenades, I will go ahead and give you a tip now, which is the way you want, if you want to use your cluster grenades and use them to the maximum and get the most efficiency out of it, what you need to do is actually use them point blank, almost like super close range. But that will require you to play somewhat aggressive. It's really hard to, I mean, and with the combination of warp too, I mean, this Batarian is really meant to be kind of close range. I mean, just think about it. Warp, they can dodge it up close. They really don't dodge it as much. With the grenades, well, they're kind of close range grenades. The way it works is that what you want to do is you hit them with the warp, like right here, and then you get that direct impact with the grenades. If you do that, you'll just murder stuff. I mean, you really do. And that's the reason why I've been able to just donkey shit on a lot of these enemies, is because of the range. Now at further ranges, it is possible to still be like pretty successful. A good example though is like against Reapers. It's actually pretty easy because things like Brutes and Ravengers, it's really easy to hit them with. They don't dodge, so from across the map you'll hit them with warp, and then you can chuck a cross map grenade at them and hit them. But against things like Cerberus and Marauders and well, maybe not cannibals, but a lot of other factions and enemies, they will probably dodge. So it's better to kind of like get into that close range. But that's the beauty of the Harrier, like I was saying, is that the Harrier will give you that close / long range, mid range ability. So you can still do a lot of damage to enemies with your gun from any type of range, and then on top of it, you can up close you just punish the enemies like big time with your grenades. So that's just the way that you should operate. Now right here, I'm gonna run like hell. You know, it was really hard to well, it wasn't really hard, but it was definitely a little bit of a challenge to try to like not die a lot in this gameplay, because it sucks not having the equipment. I gotta be honest, like I've used it all up for doing videos and crap, and I just don't have the equipment. And for some, I guess because well, my problem really is that because I wasn't playing that much, what was happening to me is that every time I buy packs now, I always get character cards. I mean, this is I literally have only bought one Arsenal pack since they have come out, and this is how bullshit it was. I bought the Arsenal pack, and by the way, for anyone who may not know, that is the weapon pack. And right here, I'm gonna get dropped. My teammate's gonna get me up. But so that's the weapon pack. I bought that, and I literally got a Drell Infiltrator and a Volus Protector. Now right here, I'm gonna have to leave my teammate, which sucks. But you know, a lot of you guys say, "Oh, Jumpin', why don't you pick up your teammates?" Well, it just really depends on the situation. I mean, I'm always communicating with them. I mean, we were talking this gameplay, so it wasn't like, you know, I was just like running from them, leaving them like a dick. I was talking to them. I was like, "Yo, man, it's too hot. I'm gonna go around and try to get you." Unfortunately, I just couldn't make it to him in time. But I mean, we're down to the last enemy, so it really didn't matter too much. But normally, I'll tell people to get up if they need to get up, or I will tell them, you know, I'm gonna try to get them or whatever. But I'm not. It's not a good idea if someone's down to just run. Let's say they're down and they got killed by 2 brutes, a Ravenger, a Marauder. I'm not gonna run in there and like just stand, you know, not kill the enemies first or just try to pick them up. It just is not a smart idea to do that. It's always better to try to kill those enemies, or if you have communication, to at least talk to each other about it. Say, you know, yo man, can't get you right now. Go ahead and get up when you feel safe. I have to run away. So that's the way I operate 90% of the time, and anyone who plays with me will tell you that. So anyway, though, so this is going to be Wave 10. It's going to be objects, and I don't think we're going to have too much trouble. You know, my teammate has the object. I'm going to just try to get the enemies on me as best I can, and also just keep killing them with these freaking OP warp grenades. I mean, I was just really, like I said, I was really surprised by this Batarian. I just didn't expect it to be this good. And honestly, it works pretty well on all factions. You might think that, you know, the truth is that it works the best against Reapers. Let's be honest, because they really, they're the ones that won't dodge as much. But the truth is that it actually does work. I've played against Cerberus with this guy, and they dodge probably the most out of anyone. And I really didn't have much trouble. I played, you know, relatively close range, just like I was in this gameplay. And I was able to fuck them up. And Phantoms weren't that big of an issue, because if the Phantom was to do like the little cartwheel of just rage, I call it the cartwheel of rage because every time they cartwheel, I rage. Ah! You know, sorry for all the headphones users out there. But anyway, yeah. So if they do that to you when you throw the warp at them, which they always will because they're little bitches, man. But when they do that, then that gives you an opportunity to just throw a grenade at them. And for the most part, the grenades will do enough damage to take down their barriers and hopefully knock them on their ass, which is what the cluster grenades do really well as well. So, you know, there's a lot of options there, believe me. It's not, this guy's just, he's pretty good on most of the factions. Honestly, probably be pretty good on almost all the factions. So, all right. So that was wave 10, and now we're gonna be on the extraction wave. Kind of messed it up a little bit because normally I like to try to set up in this little room right here. But I'm gonna run to their spawn. Their spawn is always there. Literally, it's always right there, and the wave 11, or it's gonna always be in the courtyard. One of the two. It just depends on where you're initially standing. But I'm just gonna chuck a ton of grenades at them, which is just something you can always do. You can always spam your grenades. Don't feel too bad doing it. Although every time I start spamming grenades, I always say Cholinkus mode on, because that's what Cholinkus does a lot. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just gonna continue. I mean, right here I'm in a bad spot. I'm gonna have these banshees coming to me, these brutes. Let's get the fuck out of there. Earlier I wasn't able to save this guy, but now I'm gonna go ahead and get him up. Lucky for him, I would do that. And then I'm still just trying to hold my ground, hold my position, and I'm trying to pretty much like work my way towards the LZ, but not stay in the LZ. I mean, look at this, 3 brutes. Holy fuck. But I'm gonna make these brutes my bitch, and yeah, well, maybe not. No, they're gonna poop on me. Fuck! But whatever. Fucking marauders. I hate marauders. Ugh. But anyway, so we got 30 seconds left. I'm gonna run like hell, try to go around if possible, collect as many grenades as I can so I can have a massive spam at the end. That's something you can always do with grenades. Just start chucking them everywhere and hope that you hit enough enemies so that you can just... one time on this map, I literally was able to kill every enemy on the map because I was lone survivor and I had arc grenades. Fucking crazy, but literally every enemy. Alright guys, I really hope you have enjoyed this gameplay. As you can tell, this is pretty much over. Please give me a like, I would definitely appreciate that, and like always, have a nice day.